So if this video seems like it's lacking in, like, energy, it's because this is my second time filming it, so sorry. But it's kind of a negative video anyway, so I guess it just fits the theme, right? Today I'm talking about the 3 worst books that I read in 2019. I'm not trying to be a jerk, this is just my personal opinion, but I hated these books. Not hated, that's really strong, but I did not enjoy these books at all. And I won't go into a ton of detail because, like I said, I already filmed this and I don't really feel like doing it again. Let's just get on with it. Okay, so coming in, it's like the best of the worst was The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. I read this a few months back and I really didn't like it. I think it's like magical realism, like it's the real world, but it's like a little bit, like there are magical elements in the real world. So like it's a story about this girl. Honestly, I don't even remember. This book I really just didn't enjoy. It was so it had an unlikable main character. So there's a strike. I didn't care what was happening. Like, normally the end of a book is where you get really excited about it. You get sucked into the action. Like, you're like, oh yeah, how is this going to end? It's reaching the climax, like all this. The last quarter of the book, I just didn't care. Like, I was like, can this just be over? I had already read so much of it that I was like, yeah, I'm going to finish it. But I was really just sitting there like, is it over yet? Are we done here? Like, is this solved yet? So, like, usually when that happens, I'm going to say it's probably going to get a low rating because if you don't like the ending and like the climax of the story, yeah. So I really didn't like that book. And it just so happened, like, coincidentally, my best friend was reading it at the same time as I was, and she said the exact same thing. She was like, by the last 20% of the book, she didn't want to read it anymore. She was like, can this just be over? Like, you don't care about the main character because she's kind of a jerk. I don't know. I didn't like it. And if you do, I'm sorry, but I didn't. It wasn't my kind of book. It wasn't my cup of tea. Moving on. We're trying not to be too negative here. In kind of second place for my worst book of the year, this is the one that I feel the worst about because it's a classic, it's a children's classic, and it is much loved, just not by me, and that is Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. I know, but I just didn't like it. I felt like it was too whimsical, and I understand it's supposed to be kind of whimsical, because you're on an island with a bunch of kids that are never going to grow up and blah, blah, blah. It was too much for me, and it didn't make sense. Like, I liked the beginning, and I really, really liked the end. I really enjoyed the end of it, but that whole middle part, it was just jumping around too much. Like, I couldn't keep track of what was happening. And it's not that I don't like the idea of it. Like, I liked Peter Pan the movie when I was younger. I used to love it. Maybe I'm just too much of an adult now, and I just can't appreciate it anymore, but it was just a little bit too all over the place for me. I really just did not have a good time with that book, and I feel really bad about it. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. I have to say, this is going a lot faster the second time. Okay, and then my least favorite book of the entire year of 2019 was actually fairly recent, and that was Once Upon a Dream by Liz Braswell. It was a Disney Twisted Tale, and the tagline was, what if Sleeping Beauty never woke up? It's a Sleeping Beauty kind of like retelling where the tagline and what you think you're going into the story for is, what if Sleeping Beauty never woke up? The problem with that is, I guess this is a mild spoiler, but I don't recommend you read this book anyway. But if you really don't want to know about this book, just kind of like click out of the video now. See you later. But the whole reason that I thought the book sounded interesting and I wanted to read it and I was intrigued to read it was because of the tagline, what if Sleeping Beauty never woke up? And then halfway through the book, she woke up. So what is the point of that? Like, the setup was different and like the whole, like, whatever was different. So the story was different, but she still woke up. And the whole point was that I thought it would be interesting if she didn't wake up. If you're just going to take Sleeping Beauty and tell it in a different way, come up with a tagline that reflects that. Like, don't use a tagline that doesn't actually reflect what happens in the book. And I mean, yeah, I know, like, she has to wake up eventually either way. Yeah, but, like, not in the middle of the story and then just retell the story in a different way when the whole point of the story was that she wasn't going to wake up. I don't know. I didn't like it. I actually gave this one 1 star. I hated it. Like, I really, really, really did not enjoy this because it wasn't what it was sold to me as. It didn't make any sense anyway. Like, even discounting the fact that the tagline was completely misleading, like, the story just didn't make sense. Nothing that was happening made any sense. Like, this wasn't even like I enjoyed the beginning and I enjoyed the ending. The whole thing was a mess. Like, it was a mess. And it's kind of sad because the whole idea of the Disney Twisted Tales sounds so cool to me. Like, I love that concept. But then the first one I read was such crap that I'm kind of scared to read any more of them. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I'm going to end up trying anymore. I know they're all written by different people. So just because I didn't like this one doesn't mean I wouldn't like any of the other ones. I'm just a little, like, scared to pick up another one now. But, I mean, I probably will in the future. Let's be real. But, yeah, it just wasn't for me. Didn't make any sense. Was, like, a complete mess. It was misleading in the tagline. And, like, the whole point of the story, the whole premise of the story that was given to me was incorrect. And not in a good way. So, yeah, I just didn't enjoy it. These books are all kind of related in the fact that they're all supposed to be, I guess, I am assuming they're all supposed to be kind of whimsical. Like, maybe I just don't like whimsy. I don't know. But I really did not enjoy these 3 books. These were my 3 least favorite books of the year. And, yeah. That's all I have to say. I'm keeping this video short, 1, because I already filmed it, and 2, because I just don't want to be negative for too long. So that's all I'm going to say on this, and I don't recommend you pick up these books, but if you do, good luck. I hope you like them more than I did. And yeah, that's it. I will see you in the next one. The next one will be a happy video, I'm sure, because this was the only negative video that I was going to film. So yeah, alright, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.